So I've gotten a lot of responses from my Women's Suffrage Cause the Welfare State video, so I just thought I would address some of them. Namely, I'm responding to Missy Baker, who says, and I quote, "If our system collapse, it will because of the military and corporate financing, not welfare or free/inexpensive health insurance." Oh God, Missy, you are so ignorant, but it's okay. I'm here to help. Just stay calm. I'm going to help.
Now, I know how this happened. I know how people like Missy are deceived and think that it's the military taking all the money because they see charts like this. Now, this chart shows that defense is clearly about half, a little bit over half of spending. And they're like, oh no, it's the military taking all our money. Oh, the jobs, the children. All right, look at the rest of the chart. We got defense at about 50%, agriculture, commerce, energy, financial services, homeland security, interior, labor, health and human services, education, the legislative branch, military construction, veterans affairs, state, foreign operations, and transportation, housing, and urban development. Notice anything missing? There's some budget items that are missing from this pie chart. Well, yeah, there's some big budget items missing from this chart because this is only discretionary spending. Discretionary means Congress has to vote on it. They can vote on it, they can vote against it, they have to have their fingerprints on it. The problem with entitlements and welfare is nobody wants their fingerprints on it, so they make that mandatory spending. If they make it mandatory spending, nobody has their fingerprints on it, they don't have to get judged for it in an election because they're a bunch of cowards. They want to give everybody free crap, and they don't want to have to be the ones to be blamed when the economy crashes. All right, now this chart looks a lot different. This chart is total federal spending for 2014. It includes mandatory spending. So you can see the military, it's that, it's not a small slice, it's a pretty significant slice, it's 17%, and that's the military. Now, what's these giant orange and blue slices? Why, it's welfare. Social Security, unemployment, and labor, $1.28 trillion, or 35% of the budget, twice that of the military. Medicare and health insurance, so that includes Medicaid, that includes Obamacare, $990 billion, or 27% of the budget. 10% more than the military. That's where our money's going. Now, you can include some other things, some other useless government expenditures that are just complete drains in the economy and don't do crap. The Department of Energy and the Environment, the Department of Education, even veterans benefits, that's welfare too. Just pay our soldiers more and give them a 401k. All this stuff. Okay, you include all this stuff. You include Medicare, Social Security, Department of Education, Energy, all this stuff. You could easily get to about 75% of the budget. Now imagine getting your taxes cut 75%. All the essential government services are still there. You're just not paying people's welfare. You're not paying for useless crap like the Department of Education and Energy. 75% tax cut. That's a lot of money. You could save for your own retirement. You could go create a business. You can go just shop, create jobs for other people. There's all these things we could do, but we can't do it because the government's taking our money to give it to other people. And it mostly goes to women. Women live longer than men, and they use most of the welfare money.
Another criticism that I've heard a lot is that some welfare states existed before women could vote, such as Germany, and that because they existed, that invalidates my theory. Well, here's the thing. One of the papers I cited used Switzerland as an example, and even though they did have welfare programs prior to giving women the right to vote, those welfare programs grew by a lot, like over a quarter. And since women can vote, and they are about half the population, they pretty much make welfare reform completely impossible. No politician can argue for welfare reform when women control the voter base. And this is really bad because welfare is absolutely out of control.
All right, the last thing I'm going to do is quote from an article written by Rich Marin of the Pew Research Center called The Politics and Demographics of Food Stamp Recipients. About halfway down the article, it says, Women were about twice as likely as men, 23% versus 12%, to have received food stamps at some point in their lives. In the next paragraph it reads, minority women in particular are far more likely than their male counterparts to have used food stamps. About 4 in 10 black women, 39%, have gotten help compared to 21% of black men. The gender-race participation gap is also wide among Hispanics. 31% of Hispanic women, but 14% of Hispanic men received assistance. Among whites, the gender-race gap is smaller, but still, white women are about twice as likely as men to receive food stamp assistance, 19% versus 11%. So I've seen some comments where the black community, especially, is kind of conflated with women, and I think that's incorrect. I think the stats prove it. This isn't a black-white issue. It's a male-female issue. The problem isn't black people or minorities or anybody. It's not people, it's women. Women are the ones who take these benefits. They're the ones who aren't working. They're the ones taxing all of us. Black men, Hispanic men, white men. We're all having our money taken by these women to line their pockets because they don't want to get jobs and they don't want to find a man who will take care of them. They want the government to force all men to take care of them. And on the subject of the black community, I think they are the biggest victims of our gynocentric culture and feminism. If you look at the community, they've been destroyed by welfare. They are just littered with single mothers, raising awful criminals. It's not the men's fault. The men are being destroyed just as much as everybody else. It's more apparent in their community because their community is smaller, but the problems in that community are coming out in all communities. Wherever you have gynocentrism, you have massive welfare, you have single mothers running around, that's the problem that follows. So that's about all I got to say about this. If you have any further comments or questions, let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you later.